lovelies, welcome to another exciting episode of Eat Right Africa. My name is Aya Elizabeth and I am a certified nutritionist. On this episode, I'm going to be showing us various options for a cold breakfast. I know you're really busy and you have a lot to do and you've got to run, but I'm sure you've heard it so many times that the breakfast is the most important meal of the day. There's so many reasons behind that. If you are on a diet, you want to spread your calories properly across the day. And then if you eat breakfast, it gives you the chance and the opportunity to, fuse in some yogurts, fuse in some fruits into your diet. So it's very, very important that you don't send your body into the hunger moods and, and then you have the chances of overeating later. The first dish on my cold breakfast plan for you, if you are on a diet, don't forget that we're on a road, we're on a journey to achieving a very healthy body weight. So I'm going for the Quaker oats. You have all the benefits here. It's low in cholesterol, it's 100% whole grain, it's high in fiber, and this is where my carbohydrates are coming from. I recommend that you cut on your carbohydrates and that you eat most of your day's carbohydrate in the morning for breakfast. So let's see how much we need from this. You need to be sensitive to the recommendation on the pack. I know that it's not always accurate because it might vary by 20%. There's a 20% tolerance, but however, it gives you a kind of a guide. If you're not very sure, don't forget that 1 gram of carbohydrate is 4 kilocalories, so you can always have a feeling for whether it's right. Let's take a look at the portion that is recommended by Quaker Oats. So if you look for that, you find it here, and it says that 1 portion is 40 grams, all right? And this 40 grams would give me 150 kilocalories. That makes sense because 40 times 4 is 160, and sometimes the food company already deducts the fiber. The fiber is deducted because your body cannot digest it, so it's not really counted as calories. However, it's a very important part of your meal because it's very vital for the bowel, for movements in your tummy and the feeling. It contributes to the feeling of fullness, and that's why fiber is a very important part of the diet. So I'm gonna get 40 grams from my Quaker oats. Don't forget that you always need a scale, at least at the beginning of your weight loss program. You need to be sensitive to how much you're eating so that we know that you're eating about 1,000 to 1,200 kilocalories per day, and that way we're definitely on the journey to weight loss. So 40 grams of this, and I get that in my bowl. Now, after a while, you get very used to, putting this in the bowl and getting the right, see, that's 39 and that's 40. So I have that in my bowl. I was gonna tell you why I may or may not choose muesli. Again, on the carton of the muesli, you can see that I have also 40 grams. Most of the times they expect you to eat 40 grams. As you can see in the bowl, it's not really a lot of food for breakfast. And maybe that's why you've been overeating, because most of us definitely take a lot more than that when you eat oats. So it's the same amount that you're expecting for the muesli. Why am I not choosing muesli over my Quaker oats? I'll tell you why. In my muesli, I've got, it promises me 10 fruits and it also promises me 10 vitamins. I've got dried fruits, I've got banana chips, I've got pear, apricot pieces, peach, raspberry, vitamin C, vitamin E, vitamin B6. This is amazing. You've got everything you need. So it's really up to you to take this or this one. The reason why I'm taking the Quaker is because I prefer to always have natural fruit rather than have dried fruit because it's got sugar. So that way I can save on calories and I do it my way. All right now, so I'm gonna take 1 apple, and an apple is about 52 kilocalories. How do you find out how many calories something like this has? Because obviously this has got no food label. You can always use the internet. It's an amazing source. If you just, Google 100 grams apple, it tells you exactly how much you have in an apple. However, I need to first know if my apple is 100 grams or not. So you want to weigh that, or you just want to eat an entire apple, right? So let's see, how much does an apple weigh? Is it 100 grams? Is it less? Let's find out. So there we go. I switch on my scale and I put my apple. All right, my apple weighs 163 grams. That means it's a little more than 52 kilocalories. And I can now cut my apple and add it to my muesli, right? So obviously this is about 104 kilocalories from my apple because my apple weighs quite a bit more than 100 grams, but not 200 grams. Really good source of fiber and really good source of carbohydrate, and you know what you're eating. So this is definitely a really good way to go about your dieting. So there you go. I put that in my oats, and yeah. So the last thing I need now is milk or yogurt. Now, if you have the chance and you have the choice of something that is more natural over processed food, I'd advise and recommend that you always go for the natural food or the fresh food. In this case, for me, it would be yogurt or it would be fresh milk. So let's try with yogurt. Once again, on the fresh yogurt or on the yogurt, like, choose one that is natural yogurt, that has no sugar, it's not vanilla, it's not strawberry, it's just plain yogurt. In this case, it's even great because it's probiotic. That means that it's got live microorganisms like bacteria, like good bacteria that is good for your system, and it helps you to digest your food properly, and you just need that in your gut, in your flora. Okay, let's see what the food label says. Again, this is a cup for 500 grams of yogurt, and I'm going to take out 100 grams. Or more, depending on how much I need in my muesli. So you see that the calories begin to add up. And if you are on a diet and you're eating 1,200 kilocalories in a day, it adds up pretty quickly. So you need to decide whether you want to take out some oats and, have a little less oats, or just have 100 grams of apple. You have to balance it out. So I'm going to take 100 grams of my yogurt. So it doesn't matter if you already have the food in the bowl. What you can do is just put it again on the scale, and to neutralize that weight, just go on Tara, and then it goes back to 0. So now the scale is only going to weigh my yogurt and not the apple or the bowl or the oat. So I need 100 grams of my yogurt, and 100 grams of my yogurt will give me 65 kilocalories. If I take 200, that's 130. So let's see how much 100 grams is. That is 100 grams. It doesn't look like much. My muesli or my oat is still quite dry. So I think I'm going to go for another 100 grams. Okay? All right. So I've got 200, about 200 grams of yogurt in my oat. And this is like a very, very healthy breakfast on the way to a healthier diet, because you've got the best carbohydrate that you can get. It's as low in glycemic load. That means that it doesn't spike up your sugar level, the amount of sugar in your blood so quickly. So the glucose is released very gently into your blood, and you have a feeling of fullness for a longer period in comparison to eating white bread or rice. All right, so this is my breakfast. It looks pretty cool, and you don't need any sugar, you don't need any honey. You have the sweetness, the natural sweetness from the apple, and this is my first option for you if you living in Africa. If you cannot get plain yogurt and you cannot get fresh milk, of course you can always use the powdered milk. It's not my best option, but I just want to be realistic and make it really practical for you. That was it about this video, and I'm going to show you cold breakfast number 2 in the next video, so watch out for it. Bye.